Welcome to Coffee Chats with Klaas. Hi, I'm Eric Schwartz, and today we're joined by Josh Sterling, a chartered financial analyst and portfolio manager here at Klaas. Today we'll talk with Josh about ESG investing and why it's been gaining interest recently. Thanks for joining us, Josh. Can you introduce ESG investing to us?
Thanks, Eric. ESG is an old form of investing that has gained significant interest in the past few years. ESG specifically is an acronym that stands for environmental, social, and governance. These three categories have been the building blocks for this style of investing. Each category covers a broad range of issues different companies may need to consider or engage. An ESG rating helps investors identify companies that align best with their interests.
So ESG factors allow us to get a peek under the hood at companies that we wouldn't normally see. What would some of these categories consider?
Good question. Let's talk through some of the simple examples of each. The environment category is most commonly associated with the company's carbon footprint, which is how much carbon emissions the company releases into the environment. Environment, however, covers a much wider range of risks, like pollution controls, which considers the risks of fines if a company is careless, like an oil spill, and technology improvements, which evaluates whether companies make improvements to be operationally efficient or if they hold on to inefficient machinery that costs more to operate and may break down. The social aspect refers to how the company impacts individuals and the community. Think about topics as normal as donating to local charities or causes, or bigger issues like safety risks to employees for a manufacturing firm. If social factors aren't monitored, bigger problems around employee strikes or consumer boycotts can impact the business's bottom line. Governance is the quality and impact of leadership and structure of the business. This evaluates things like executive compensation, management oversight, and employee benefits. Companies that don't have good governance practices are at greater risk of mismanagement of the company, operations, or employees. This can lead to excessive expenses or scandals that put the company in a bad light. This could be a tech company's misuse of data or a company making false claims to promote their products over the competition. These three major categories strive to summarize the qualities of a company that don't show up on financial statements.
That makes a lot of sense. ESG allows us to consider other factors that normal financial numbers might not account for. Can you give us an example of how an ESG consideration might help guide an investment choice?
Absolutely. Let's use a simplified example. Imagine we have two energy companies that specialize in oil, and we're going to pick one to invest in. Both are about the same size, have a similar structure and finances. Because the financial information we would normally gather both look the same, we need a different way to analyze the companies. Digging into the company's expenses, we notice some differences. The first company has significant expenses occurring every few years, while the other has slightly larger annual expenses, but does not increase or decrease significantly from year to year. Researching further into the news, interviews, and connection with the companies, we find out that the first company has had multiple instances of oil spills over the past 10 years, leading to loss of product, reputational damages, and fines for pollution and cleanup. The second company has been more diligent around oversight of production and transportation, but has cost the company more year to year. However, the second company has only had a couple oil spills. Using this simple example, we can see how ESG would help us consider why we might decide to choose the second company over the first. Their actions resulted in fewer oil spills that directly impacted the environment. Their reputation remains resilient in the public eye, and this has been done through purposeful corporate controls implemented throughout the business. Even though both companies appear the same financially, we should lean towards the second that has fewer risks that could have unforeseen financial consequences.
So considering all that goes into ESG investing, is this something newer to the investing world?
Certain types of ESG investing have been around for a while, and it's evolved significantly over time, as there are many types today. One form can be found back in the mid-1700s by John Wesley, one of the founders of the Methodist Church. He believed that money shouldn't be used to hurt your neighbors through the use of business practices. This type is called socially responsible investing. Today, we can see this where certain investors, like churches or hospitals, might want to avoid certain products, such as guns, liquor, and tobacco.
So how is ESG investing used today?
Well, as time moved along, more interest came from individuals looking to invest their nest eggs in ESG-focused investments. This required a more efficient way to build solutions that are easier to understand and investable for anyone that wants that focus. As individuals have been focusing more on ESG investing, research companies has worked to make ESG-related data more accessible and accurate. There are tens of thousands of companies that we can easily invest in today, and it's nearly impossible as an investor to understand the underlying considerations of ESG for each and every potential company. These research companies make it possible to have a better understanding of a company's focus on ESG factors and group companies together based on the end investor's desires. This, of course, is not a perfect system, but it's why the field is expanding. And today, there are many ESG rating firms. Accumulating data and continuing research will always be a work in progress. But the work that has been done has made ESG investing available to many investors today.
Who should be considering whether ESG investing is right for them?
ESG investing might not be an interest for everybody, but it's a form of investing that is attracting a lot of individuals. People that want to consider factors beyond just their returns might have an interest in learning more about ESG.
Thanks, Josh, for speaking with us today. If you're interested in learning more about ESG investing, please feel free to reach out to our Klaas Financial Advisors who are able to assist you with all of your investing needs. And thank you for joining us for Coffee Chats with Klaas.